Okay. We got it.
Shaq, before we get into my little intro of the episode, do you remember what I said to you last week about the Cryptid Top Trumps?
So you say a lot of things. So
I do.
You do say a lot of things. I'm going to say it was something to do with a big one, like a heavy hitter sort of type.
That was it. I said to you, do you want a heavy hitter?
Okay.
Or do you want a small one? And do you remember what you said?
Heavy hitter, for sure.
You did say heavy
100%,
hitter.
100%.
So today we have got a heavy hitter. And well, I'm gonna jump into it. Guys, welcome to the Cryptid Top Trumps. Over the course of 30 months, myself, Jamie, and my co-host, Shaq, will be investigating and discussing 30 different paranormal beings and cryptids. Oh, wait. Can you hear that?
No, I don't think they can pick up on the mic.
No. I can hear them asking why 30, I hear you ask.
Okay, you got me.
Well, this isn't your ordinary paranormal podcast. The reason we'll be doing this over the course of 30 months is, you see, there is typically 30 cards in a deck of Top Trumps. That's right, we are creating our very own Top Trumps deck. Each episode we will be breaking down a new cryptid into 5 categories, 4 that are scored out of 100 and the final category being scored out of 10.
Cool.
On today's episode, we will be talking about and creating the card, drum roll please, for the goatsucker himself, El Jubicabra.
Oh, nice.
I said it was a heavy hitter.
That is a heavy hitter.
Do you know what? Might be the heaviest of the hitters.
That might be that's a big one actually. Is it El Chupacabra?
El Jubicabra.
Ah, yes.
Or the Jubicabra.
Or the Chupacabra, yes.
El is just the.
Of course. Of course.
Now, Shaq, I know it's a very, very silly question, but please tell the listeners, have you heard of the Jubicabra before?
Yes, so my first
I'd love it if you just said no.
I should have said no. Ah, damn, missed opportunity. My first, I think a lot of people, if you were born in the 90s, I think our first sort of interaction, or just how we heard about it, is from Dex's lab.
I mean, yeah. Do you know what this was? And I will bring this much later up in the podcast, and I'm glad you kind of sort of brought this up now, is the Jubicabra is in a lot of pop culture.
Oh, a lot.
A lot of pop culture. It's almost... I'll be honest with you, it's almost the face of cryptids in pop culture.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely...
I know there's Bigfoot, I know there's a Loch Ness Monster, but the Jubicabra has been in a lot of stuff.
I would say it's on the Mount Rushmore of cryptids.
Oh, 100? Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll put it up there.
Yeah, you got Bigfoot, Nessie, Jubicabra.
Oh, what's the last one?
Is there 4 on Mount Rushmore?
There's got to be at least 4, it's 4, so I don't know what the president's names are, but...
I don't know what else would be up there. The Greys.
The Greys?
Aliens, Greys.
Oh, Greys, damn! Of course.
They're the 4 pillars of cryptids.
The Pillar Men. Oh.
The Pillar Men.
Shit.
Hey,
that could be
if Paramount are listening and they want to make a new horror film, the Pillar Men.
Oh.
The team up. Or a bigger evil comes. Satan himself comes and the Pillar Men have to take him down.
Ooh, like some Freddy vs. Jason shit. We need more movies like that where like one paranormal thing fights another paranormal thing.
We do.
That's a miss market.
It's a lost cause now.
What would you call it? A lost cause?
No, it's a lost art. It's a lost art now. Like you had like Alien versus Predator, Freddy versus Jason.
Personally, I don't even think they really scratched the surface of how deep it went. I feel it went from just being like a crossover Smash Bros type shit, but I never really thought like, let's think of like, or even a team up situation where Freddy.
But that's what I'm saying. I was like, what if you got the 4, the Bigfoot, the Nessie, the Greys, and the Jubicabra fighting against like the devil?
Oh man.
That sounds awesome.
Sam Raimi, get it. Fund it, please.
Hey.
Please. All right. Back to the shit.
What else do you know?
So, from what I remember or what I've gathered from different pop cultures, whether it be Dexter's Lab or I'm going to say Billy and Mandy probably have a reference there somewhere. The Chupacabra is some sort of... I wouldn't say it's too big. I'm going to say it's around 4 or 5 feet. Around there.
Yeah.
Sharp teeth. Likes blood. And it eats goats, and it's predominantly found in Mexico. Or a lot of the stories derive from Mexico or South America.
Yeah. I mean, you're more spot on. You're more spot on than you think with it all. Yeah, I mean, everything you're saying is not untrue.
Okay.
But there's a bit more detail to it all.
But yeah, that's pretty much the Cliff Notes version, or the casual's guide to like the Chupacabra.
Yeah. I mean, they are pretty massive.
Oh,
not in stature, in their
notoriety,
which hint is a category for one of our.
It's already maxed out. Damn.
I mean, we might be getting our first max stat.
We might be.
But yeah, no. As I said, you're relatively spot on with this. As the most common descriptions of Jubicabras is sort of like a strange breed of a wild dog.
Got you.
Hairless, sort of a pronounced spinal ridge, so like a sort of protruding spine, like unusually pronounced eye sockets, fangs.
Is it like a
claws.
Lovecraftian kind of monster, like something you would see like a Bloodborne?
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
But if like, well, I mean, like I'm talking about the more alien side of Bloodborne's like monsters.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get into it.
Okay.
So it is claimed that this breed might be an example of a dog-like reptile. Unlike conventional predators, the Jubicabra is said to drain all of the animal's blood. And sometimes the organs as well. So I don't know how you suck out an organ, but hey,
listen, I be sucking out the meat from like oxtails, so maybe I'm the Chupacabra.
Maybe you are. And it's usually through 3 holes in the shape of an upside down triangle, or 1 or 2 holes.
Wait.
So it's usually 3 holes in an upside down triangle.
3 holes. Oh, like their face or like their teeth or what?
No, their teeth. So they bite. The bite marks is like 3 holes of an upside down triangle, or it is just through 1 hole or just 2 holes.
Okay.
I mean, there's other descriptions of the Jubicabra as well that are not as common, and it's sort of again reptile-like creature, to have like leathery, scaly, sort of frog-like skin. Maybe they're related to the frogmen of the Loveland frogmen. Again, sort of sharp spines or quills running down them. Yep, and in some case to have wings. Leathery, sort of like bat wings.
All right. Have you done the description yet?
No.
Okay. I don't want to spoil myself. I was going to Google it before. I'll let you finish.
I mean, there's so many different variations, which is kind of like the first case where we have like there could be multiple breeds of Jubicabras.
Oh, so we got a family of them.
I mean,
like
through the research, they say that there's quite a lot of the population could be huge of Jubicabras.
It's like a chimera ant.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn.
So where was I? And like leathery wings, so like they could fly as well. And so people estimate that this particular description could be about 3 to 4 feet tall.
Okay.
And stands and hops in a similar fashion to a kangaroo. I mean, we'll get into this as well, but some of the earliest reports come from Puerto Rico.
Okay, so that's the Caribbean.
Is Puerto Rico the Caribbean?
That's.
I mean, I think of Southern America when I think of Puerto Rico as well.
I'm pretty sure Puerto Rico.
I mean, it could be Caribbean.
Yeah, it's a Caribbean island.
There we go.
But I know it gets kind of weird because it's very.
How close it is to southern? I mean, it's right to the north of South America.
So if we're like.
It's like it's to the north of like Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Mexico, Brazil.
Yeah, so it's Venezuela.
No, Mexico's to the left. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. So I mean, a lot of the sightings, or a lot of the first sightings, come from Puerto Rico. In at least one sighting, the creature was reported to hop 20 feet, about 6 meters, into the air. This variety of Jubicabra is said to have dog or panther-like nose and face, a forked tongue, so like a snake kind of, and large, like huge fangs. It's said to hiss and screech when alarmed, as well as leaving behind a sulfuric stench. So it stinks of
very like acidic.
Well, sulfuric is like
sulfuric.
like farty, like eggy.
Oh, that's what
and when it screeches, some reports say the Jubicabra's eyes glow an unusual red color.
Oh, this is
and
this is
apparently it induces nausea to people that witness the sort of the screech. So if it was screaming at you and you were looking into its glowing red eyes, you would feel nauseous. Yeah, and I mean, sort of more reports. I would say. So that one was sort of more of an uncommon report. Sort of the more common characteristics which we went over before was sort of like a hairless dog.
Okay, so it's like if Scooby-Doo was possessed by the devil.
Yeah. And had shaved itself.
You know, that would be a really interesting concept, like a metal themed kind of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Like imagine like something off like an Iron Maiden album cover, but Scooby-Doo.
Very heavy metal.
Yeah, that's the vibe I'm getting.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of in the most common cases, as we said before, the ones that we just spoke about were about 3 to 4 feet. The most common description, which is like the hairless dog one, as I said, is about 4.5 to 5.5 feet. So sort of a small human.
Yeah, a small humanoid type.
Well, this is the thing as well, is that they have been described as quite humanoid in some things, and some of them say that they have sort of oval heads and like alien-like eyes that glow red.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that there's sort of like a mishmash of quite a few kind of like creatures that we know from the animal kingdom.
Okay.
I mean, as I said, there's the sulfur type odor. And yeah, some have scaly skin, or some have been said to have scaly skin. And yeah, and they can walk around on 2 legs, but they can also run on all 4s.
Oh.
And as again, they jump. And as I said, some people liken to a kangaroo, but others sort of liken it to like an ape-like creature.
Okay.
So there's a real mix there. It's a mixed bag.
Now I'm trying to think of like what could I give a good description. Like if I had to like reference something pop culture, like where someone can kind of draw inspiration from.
It's a real mishmash.
It's a hodgepodge of stuff.
I mean, I think the most common thing is sort of like, as I said before, it's like it's like a weird breed of dog, like a hellhound almost.
That is exactly what I was just about to say. I was on the cusp of saying that.
I think that is the most, when you think of it in pop culture, that is the kind of look that they go for. But as detailed, they have very different looks. Like very different looks. Like some, as I said, scales. Some a lot bigger than others. Like sort of on 2 legs rather than 4 legs, and it's like a forked tongue. Jumping like a kangaroo, some with wings. Like there are real like hodgepodge, as you said, of like just creatures.
I'm getting the kind of thing where it's like,
but they all drain blood. That's the most common description. They all drain blood of livestock, and I know it's, and you said goats before, but it's reported for
cows,
chickens, goats, pets, dogs and cats.
Oh, damn. You're next, Kirby. Oh, yeah, I don't even know who she is. But she's next.
But, yeah, literally sort of any livestock. Sheep.
Okay, so is that the description done?
That's the description done, yeah.
All right, let's get a Googles on that. Let's get a Googles. Let's see.
You want to kind of look at it?
Yeah. Oop, I don't just... No.
Chupacabra, yes.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
You see how there's very different depictions, but the most common one there is like a weird sort of skinny dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you look at that one.
Oh, see, that's more alien-like.
Reptilian. That's what I mean.
That's the word.
So I'll get into some theories in a minute, but yeah, I think if people were sort of thinking of like anything, what to liken it to, it would be like a very slim, sort of ferocious dog.
Like imagine, guys. So think about it. You know, you guys are probably in the UK. Most of you are in the UK. I'm assuming that you guys listen to this, right?
Yeah, I don't know the analytics.
Foxes. Think of like a really mangy, skinny hairless fox that looks, you know,
quite evil.
Evil, alien eyes. Not too alien. Just like, you know, turn the slider up a little bit, like maybe 20%. And that's something I could see off like Goosebumps, but like not as like corny Goosebumps, but like the Goosebumps that still holds up today. Goosebumps, you know what I mean? Okay.
But as I said, like we are seeing pictures here, and there is an array of sort of different looks that they have.
Yeah, you know what? If I had to pick one out of all of the ones I've seen,
which you will be for the card.
Oh yeah, definitely. I am going to say it's.
This is great for an audio format.
Oh, fuck, sorry. I'm gonna describe it, but it's like this green skin, like a lizard green.
Yeah, I mean, they do say greeny kind of reptilian skin.
Yeah, green skin, sort of a mixture of like a like Spyro dragon and a dog, but green and sort of, yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. Evil.
Inject evil into that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that's sort of the. As I said, it's, as I've said a few times now, it is a real mishmash of things.
This is interesting.
I will say, remember that one of the description had wings. Remember that for a later point.
You know,
and that's another thing as well. There's like. There are like pop Funkos of Chupacabras, so it's just like that is how pop culture it has got.
Oh yeah,
there is pop Funkos of Jubicabras.
Remember, like this, the forefathers are scripted, so it's definitely got to be up there.
Yeah,
definitely got to get a Funko Pop.
I mean, that would be fun.
I wouldn't be surprised if I got a Funko Pop, just because it's Funko Pops.
Goosebumps need to do a story about Funko Pops.
Ooh, Goosebumps with Funko Pops.
Not Goosebumps Funko Pops, a story about Funko Pops. I feel like they could do something there. But back to the Jubicabra.
Okay.
So the origins of the Jubicabra are subject to so much debate. People believe that this creature is a left behind pet from visitors from outer space.
Huh.
Hence their uncanny resemblance to space aliens known as greys. So like. Certainly some of these descriptions with like the alien sort of reptilian look.
Alien dog, huh? All right.
Alien dog, yeah.
If I was to Google alien dog right here.
I mean, it's not a million miles away, is it?
I know we're getting a lot of HR Geiger alien type deals here. But,
And again, it's just like with the greys are reportedly have large oval heads with enormous eyes. And the alien theory doesn't even end there. Others speculate that it is an alien animal crossbreed created by scientists at NASA.
Mewtwo?
It could be Mewtwo. Suggesting that the creature escaped experiments gone awry. One vet in South America believes that the Jubicabra is a genetically modified vampire bat. Hence the wings.
Oh.
Other medical and official personnel suspect that these incidents are caused by a pack of wild dogs. So they just think it's all bullshit, could be wild dogs.
Okay. But
and I mean, I'm not too keen on stuff like that because there is such a difference in... And we'll get into it as well when we talk about eyewitnesses. There have been thousands of eyewitnesses to this. It's not... So the things that we've kind of looked at before... on previous episodes have a handful of sightings.
Oh yeah, it'll be like
these have thousands.
Yeah,
thousands and thousands and thousands.
It's definitely not like, oh, my uncle's barber's got pet goldfish got eaten by the Chupacabra, and they'll send you like some shitty like abandoned email from like AOL.com to say, oh, here's more if you want to know more. It's like it's a legit thing. Like people have made books about this.
Oh, and the livestock is proof that they're dead as well. Like there's been dead livestock, and obviously that's like evidence. Something has been killing this livestock.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And draining it of its blood, which is odd in itself.
The blood thing is definitely very cryptid-like Because if it was just like, oh, some random dog just went into like a hen hatch or a hen house.
Oh, it'd be a blood bath.
It would be a blood bath, but I'm sure like...
It wouldn't be husks.
But like, dogs aren't like, you know, they wouldn't suck up the blood.
No.
You know, they're not vampires.
No, they're eating the meat.
They're eating the meat. They might bite the head.
Well, this is the thing. I don't think the Jubicabras are eating them. They're just draining the blood.
We did see a picture of like what seems to be like a beheaded, whatever it is, like this little thing. I don't know if this is like, where is it? A Chupacabra attacked me. Is this recent?
I don't know.
I don't know what this is, but it looks like a head of a dog and it looks like quite disturbing.
Yeah, I mean...
Google, why have you got this on here? This looks like fucking Red 13 from Final Fantasy 7.
I mean, he might be a Chupacabra.
You know what? That is actually a very interesting thing.
What was he?
No, he was an experiment.
And it says that they could have been experiments.
Oh,
I think that's confirmed right there.
Ooh, that is that exact stance as well. Because I've seen that. Like you've seen the concept art for Red 13. That exact stance. I'm sorry, guys. This obviously is a fucking audio and shit. But I'll try and. If you played Final Fantasy 7 and you've seen that thing where Red 13 is kind of standing in that sort of pose, it's exactly what I'm seeing right here. So yeah, it's confirmed. Isn't that right, Cody?
I mean. I think we're getting to some sort of like... Well, I don't really have any sort of eyewitness stories other than sort of just like the reports in general. So I don't have anything firsthand. However, there are thousands of them out there. So thousands and thousands of reported, not just like Reddited things, of actual reported sightings.
Okay. Do you have any in particular that maybe you've put on your notes here?
I've put some of the first ones here.
Oh, okay, so we've got the origin story. All right.
Yes and no. So, stories suggest that Jubicabra activity can be found in newspapers dated back to the 1950s.
It's always the 50s when this shit kind of kicks off. Who opened the portal to hell?
Well, what you got to remember as well is that's when like a lot of exchange of information happened. Like we were a lot more civilized after the Second World War. Newspapers were a thing before, obviously, but there was a lot of like reporters, a lot of things. I don't know. When I think of the 50s, I think we've moved away from like one age to another.
There was like an industrial boom of like a lot of sort of things like microwaves and ovens and like there's a lot of this sort of.
That's what I'm saying.
So I don't know
there's like a change. There's like when I think of the 50s, I think of a change in like human history.
It was a big change.
Because we just went through a world war, but in fact, the first reported case in North America was in Arizona. So we get some in North America as well.
So let's hit the maps
and that was in about 1956.
I feel like going forward with these episodes, we got to make sure we're looking at the map. Because a lot of these things now might be coming from... Because the last episode was the Frogman, and that came from Loveland, Ohio?
Yeah.
And if we look here... Oh, sorry, my cat's just jumping off my lap here.
Across, yeah.
So Ohio, just Oklahoma, Colorado, Utah. It's definitely not...
Does it matter?
Well, only reason why I wanted to look at it, because I wanted to see if it kind of... join up in any way if there's like a cluster of them in one spot.
I say this though, what you got to remember is that although the first incident reported was in Arizona, there were incidents reported in Arizona, Oregon, Michigan, Illinois, New Jersey, New Mexico, Florida, parts of Chile, Brazil, Mexico. But the majority of the activity, in the early cases that is, occurred in Puerto Rico. A rash of attacks plagued various regions of Puerto Rico in 1995. And this is where sort of the big first reported cases started in 1995 in Puerto Rico in a place called Canovanas. Yeah, in Canovanas, several hundred livestock were killed and were attributed to Jubicabra attacks.
Okay, so we're looking like it's just outside the city. Okay, cool.
And as I said, so the first proper big news story attack, even though there was like little newspaper clippings in the 50s, 60s, whatever, March 1995, as I said, 8 sheep were discovered dead at first. Each had 3 puncture wounds in the chest area, and reportedly completely drained of blood.
Interesting.
And then a few months later, in August, an eyewitness named Madeline Tolentino reportedly seeing the creature in Canovanas. When as many as 150 farm animals and pets were reportedly killed. So 1995 was mad. However, that was like the first tipping point of it, and you'll see a lot of things referencing 1995. However, in 1975, there was similar killings in a very small town. In a small town of Mocha, M-O-C-A. I'm assuming that's still in Puerto Rico. I don't actually know.
Yep, right here. So, okay, so we've gone from one end of the country to the other end. So we're here.
And this was this wasn't called the Chupacabra. It was called the Vampire of Mocha, or the El Vampiro del Mocha.
Aha.
I'm butchering this a lot. Initially, it was suspected that the killings were committed by a satanic cult. Later, more killings were reported around the island, and many farms reported loss of animal life. Each of the animals were reported to have had its body bled dry through a series of small circular incisions. This was in 1975, but it didn't make the news. So there was no creature. It was blamed on a satanic cult.
Okay, I'm willing to give that the benefit of the doubt just a little bit, and the reason why is because the Caribbean, it has a lot of occult history.
No, I'm not disputing any of that. Yeah,
no, but I'm just going to put that there just as a little thing there, just to think about going for, because you're saying a lot of these events appear in Puerto Rico, which is in the Caribbean. Initially,
and I will say there have been sightings around the world.
Definitely. But I wanted to draw attention to that, sort of it being mostly.
I think there was a large concentration, especially in the 90s and in the 70s as well, of these types of killings happening in Puerto Rico. And in the 70s, people didn't think it was a creature. They thought it was a satanic cult. But draining something's blood, and we're talking hundreds of bodies, is quite a difficult thing for a human to do.
Well, if it's a cult, then we're going to assume it's at least a group of people.
But I still think that's very difficult. If a creature is physically sucking.
Oh yeah, for one creature alone. But then again, you're saying it was noted that there's a lot. There could be a family. There could be. Well, there's a big disparity in descriptions. We have a very core description of a dog-like creature, but there's wings, there's reptile scales, there's stuff there's red eyes, there's oval heads. It seems like they could be a subspecies. Jubicabra could be the species, and there is different different things of them. But in 1995, that's when the Jubicabra had been seen. All right.
And that's when the big first one sort of kicked off, and as I said, Puerto Rico. So with hundreds of killings over decades.
And that was 1995.
That was 1995.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll get much, but with hundreds of killings over decades after the Puerto Rican sightings in 1995, Jubicabras have eluded capture. Several sightings have been claimed, and its description fits no biological classification, and its killing methods puzzle forensic experts. So the fact that it drains the blood baffles forensic experts.
Okay.
So again, that sort of adds credence to how could a human, if it was a satanic cult, drain the blood of this many livestock, especially through 3 small puncture wounds.
And it always seemed to be 3 small puncture wounds.
There was some variation in in the description I said, but the most common is the 3 puncture wounds. Yes.
Okay.
And if eyewitnesses can be believed, and until the experts can deliver a plausible explanation for the bizarre deaths, the Jubicabras remain a real mystery. Now, this is where things get a bit interesting.
Lay it on me.
Most cryptozoologists which is kind of what we are in this.
Yeah, I guess I'll give myself that title.
Date the earliest sightings of the Jubicabra to the pre-Columbian civilizations that inhabited the areas thousands of years before the arrival of Christopher Columbus in 1642, such as the Aztecs and the Mayans.
Now, that's very interesting you mentioned that, because while I was just scrolling through the Googles, I did see something that resembled an Aztec painting or like a scribble of what it seems to be a Chupacabra.
Now, we
or a dog-like creature.
Well, we are getting into this here. In Mayan mythology...
Okay.
God, I'm going to butcher this. The Camazotes...
The Camazotes?
Camazotes.
I'm not going to read ahead, but can I look at the word?
Bro, it's right. It's that thing.
That little...
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's that thing. It is Camazozz.
Okay, let me type it in.
Wait, did I say that right? Camazotz. Camazots.
Camazots?
Kazamots?
Camazots?
Whatever.
I'm going to say Camazots.
So, in the Mayan mythology, Camazots was the bat god.
That looks fucking cool.
Now,
that is really cool.
Actually means, in the language of like the Mayans, death bat.
Yo, I'm sorry. I know you. Once again, guys, I'm really sorry that you can't see what I'm seeing on Google. But if you heard how Jamie spelled it out and whatever, I'll spell it again: Camazotz. You will see some cool pictures because it's really cool.
In Mesoamerica, the bat was associated with night, death, and sacrifice. Ooh. A ferocious demon that lived in the Mayan underworld of Xibala. Ixilba. No, it's an X. Xibalba.
Xibala.
So it's their underworld.
Ah, got you.
Camazots, the death bat, was usually depicted as a vampire bat. The best evidence in support of this is the fact that the word chupra, in the root of chupacabra, is often associated with vultures and bats.
Interesting. Keep going.
So, several reports mention that chupacabras have tube-like sucking devices near their mouth. Ooh. So, there is a strong link that this ancient bat god could have been the OG chupacabra.
It sounds like it.
And we're talking thousands of years ago.
Now, if I was going to link this up with another very famous horror trope, which is vampires, which are bats or bat-like humans who suck blood.
Yeah, we might do vampires one day.
Oh, we have to.
Yeah,
there's like doing a hip hop review podcast. You don't even mention like Tupac.
Well, I think there's more interesting creatures than vampires out there.
Probably, but still, it has to be done. But anyway,
now this for me is a massive, like, oh shit moment, because the Jubicabra or a Jubicabra-like creature has been depicted thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago.
Of course.
So this gives me some real... Yeah, there was a Scooby-Doo.
Sorry, guys, I just clicked on some Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, again, pop culture. There was a Scooby-Doo movie with the Jubicabra. That there is the Jubicabra.
Oh my god!
Yeah, man. I had it on VHS. it was pretty good. Yeah, look right there.
Now that looks fucking hard. This looks like something you'll see in like the first generation of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Yeah.
But bro, I'm just saying, like, the fact that the Mayans had their own version of the Jubicabra. Also, remember I said wings. Mm-hmm. Some people said the description had wings.
Well, maybe the OG ones have got the wings.
That's what I'm saying. There could be OG ones. There could be like little ones. Like we don't know. But I think there's some. I think, bro, out of the. Is this the fourth or the fifth? This is the fourth one we've done. Yeah, out of the four that we've done, I'm the most convinced that this one is real.
1000%. Now, I've always been that sort of person where,
Like, I'm a bit stunned right now.
I think if there's a lot of evidence to back something up, even if I can't just go outside right now and point to a chupacabra, I feel like if it has a lot of sort of history dating back and a lot of references, whether it be pop culture, books, news, music, art, all kinds of stuff, right? There's definitely some element of truth to it. Like, for me, I think vampires exist because
They do.
like, oh yeah, I remember that one episode.
Yeah, we'll get into it if we do vampires.
Like, I think like things like mermaids, Bigfoot, succubuses, all those kind of things.
Don't give away half our episode list.
I'm sorry, but I'm talking about it just in general because I feel like there's a lot of.
But you think Jubicabra is in that category?
Of course, because how can there be so much sort of references pertaining to like a very specific identity?
Well, exactly.
Throughout the years,
and that's what I mean. And the thing is what you got to remember about a cryptid. A cryptid is just an undiscovered, an unexplained creature.
Yeah.
Now, of course, some of these will be paranormal, and people don't believe in the paranormal, and that's fine. But this is a physical creature. Something is sucking the blood of these hundreds and maybe even thousands of livestock over the years. Now, no creature out there sucks blood like that.
No.
So something is doing it. There's evidence that it's being done. I mean, yes, there might be some hoaxes there, and there might be some human intervention where they're like doing stuff, but we're talking hundreds, probably thousands, maybe even tens of thousands creatures over the years.
Oh,
and we're talking sightings throughout the world. I saw sightings reported in India. So,
any sightings in the UK?
Not that I saw. I saw that there was some in China as well. So we're talking like throughout the world here.
Ooh. Okay.
Maybe they like warmer climates.
Ooh, true.
Because all of these places have warmer climates than, say, Europe and the UK.
So there's barely been any sightings in Europe then?
Not that I've seen. I could be wrong. Obviously, I don't write a thesis on each month.
All right, yeah.
But, I mean, yeah, I'm quite happy that we've done this one because this one has been mad. And, I mean, we haven't said much new information to people. This is such a well-known cryptid that people will listen to this and be like, oh, well, we know everything about the Jubicabra because Jubicabra is everywhere. The most important thing is the card. And I think this is going to be the exciting thing of this episode.
Let's get into the card now.
So,
stat one. Yeah,
the first stat is the Paranormal Power. And that is obviously non-physical attributes and any abilities the cryptid may have.
Paranormal Power. So if we call it wings, like bat-like wings, that's already fairly
we're not saying all of them do, but if we're going by like that, there could be like loads of different variations of this creature. I mean, are wings physical though? They're sort of non-physical attributes.
It's physical, but it's very weird at the same time.
Is the blood sucking sort of a non-physical? Even though it requires a physical connection, we don't know what the blood actually physically does for them.
Well,
if we're going by the assumption that it's some sort of vampiric beast, maybe the blood sustains them.
Well, let me ask you a question. How many animals do you know suck blood?
Not a lot.
Could you like list some of the ones?
Mosquito.
Well, mosquito, that's more of a bug. So it's kind of like, okay.
A creature though.
Oh yeah. But there's not a lot. And if we're talking like something on a grander scale where it can really suck the blood out of someone, like mass amount of livestock, that's quite paranormal in that sense.
The only thing I would say is that it doesn't exhibit any power, like unexplained power, like paranormal power. This is a very physical creature.
Okay. I think the bloodsucker, I would have to give the bloodsucker at least 20 points at least.
I think bloodsucking in itself is quite strange. I think its appearance, possibly with like the links to like aliens and stuff, like I think there could be paranormal stuff, but there's no. Well, the only other thing is that there was reports that when they screech at you and their eyes are glowing red, it leaves nausea in the witnesses. So that itself could be a non-physical sort of ability, if you will.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're looking at previous scores that we gave, ability, like paranormal power wise, the Loveland Frogman got a 72. It's not as high as that because they were like wizards.
Yeah. I think if I was to throw in my points for paranormal power,
what you got to remember is that it says that they can induce nausea when they screech, and they, like, with their glowing red eyes, they screech at you. It induces nausea.
Okay.
I think that it's not a massive thing. It's not obviously the be all and end all of the Jubicabra, but I think it's worth a few points there. It might have the lowest points that we've scored so far. I mean, the lowest ones we've done so far with the Black-Eyed Children with 44 points.
I'm going to give it 25 points.
I was going to say 30.
You want me at 27?
Let's say 27.
Let's go 27.
Because I don't think they can't. Well, the next stat is going to be super overpowered, so we can't give them a super overpowered one in Paranormal Power. But notoriety. No. What are we going to do for notoriety?
I'm going to have to give it 100.
I have to agree.
Yeah, that's
I think this is the first perfect score.
Yeah, because look at all these things. It's got a lot of history. It's got a lot of pop culture references. A lot of people know about the Chupacabra. You know, I'm pretty sure it's like a household cryptid at this point.
I mean, I think you could go to any single person and say the Jubicabra, and they will know what you're talking about.
At least 9 out of 10 people would know you're talking about.
I would, yeah, a 99 out of 100. The only people that wouldn't know are probably children under the age of like 13.
But yeah, let's go. I'm going for 100.
I agree completely. I don't think there's any doubt in that. I mean, if any of you disagree, feel free to let us know. I think 100 out of 100. I think that would be its most overpowered stat.
Easily.
Strength.
Well, that's another thing I was thinking about while kind of looking at these pictures. It can really, like, you know, tackle down the livestock.
Well, I was going to say the strength includes physical attributes.
Yes. Yeah.
So we've already said that this creature is a very it's sort of calling card are more physical. But when we talk of this stat strength, we also think of strength. Size, height, and weight. It's not the biggest thing in the world. We're talking between. I mean, reports were sort of varying between. Sort of like 3 feet being the smallest and 5.5 feet being the biggest. So the biggest that they have been are sort of like a small human. Yeah. I mean, 5.5 feet.
Is, like that's quite an average. 8-9-year-old.
No, 5.5, bro. I'm not much taller.
No, I'm just averaging out the 3 and the 5 feet together.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'll say,
and I mean, but also you got things like they say what they could have wings. They could hop like a kangaroo, like 6 meters into the air.
Yeah.
Obviously, the blood sucking to take down livestock. So if we're talking something that could physically be smaller than some of the livestock it's taking down, but it's draining a whole field of livestock with ease. And we don't know if it's one. There could be a pack of Jubicabras that take out a field of
could be.
But I think that also sort of plays into its strength. Like, if they hunt in numbers, that's kind of, I mean, again, the only caveat to that I would say is most eyewitnesses only see one.
Yeah, so let's just go based on just the one. And if it's taking down let's say it comes in, sees a farm, swoops in with its wings, takes down the sheep.
I mean,
and like, sheep are not like easy to just tackle.
No, so I would say the highest strengths that we've given is the goat men with 77. And I mean, the Black-Eyed Children and the Loveland Frogman had quite low strength because they were, yeah. But I would not say the Jubicabra has a higher strength stat than the goat men. No,
they were wielding like weapons and shit, like big ass axes.
Yeah, and they were like big.
They were like tall. So if I had to throw like a number out there for strength, I think the highest I'm willing to go for strength. Oh, actually, I'm gonna say a 58.
I'm happy with that because I was gonna say around 60.
I was gonna say 60. Well, is that pushing it? So I
think 58 is fine because
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of physical attributes, and I think strength should include physical attributes, like what they physically do. And I think sucking blood is a physical thing. It's not like I'm casting a spell on you or something.
Yeah.
It's like I'm pinning you down and draining you of your blood. Like, that is quite a physical thing. And the fact that there's been hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands livestock that have been killed in this manner.
It's interesting they never kill people though. Only livestock. Interesting.
But you know what? That is very true. That is very, very true.
Yeah.
Why do they only go after livestock?
Maybe it's something about the blood of livestock that they like more. Maybe they've killed one human, and they've.
Well, maybe they have killed humans, but they just haven't been attributed to a Jubicabra attack.
But surely someone would have seen someone get killed by a Chupacabra. I don't know, but yeah, 58 for strength.
Fear factor. How scary is the cryptid?
We gotta give it a decent fear factor.
Do you know what? I don't disagree, but I'm thinking it's sort of a middle ground. Only because you have made a good point there. There's no human attacks.
There's no human attacks, but yet.
Whereas the previous 3 cryptids that we've done have attacked humans.
Okay, all right. We got to give it a cap then. Because it's very scary.
Well, again, I'll say, so the highest fear factor we've given was the goat men at 85. The lowest we gave... Oh, no, sorry. The highest fear factor were the black-eyed children at 96. Because of how creepy paranormal they are. The lowest was the Loveland Frogman at 36. Personally, I would say, because they don't attack humans, I do think they're quite scary in appearance. So that obviously gives... I mean, if I saw one in the street, I would be terrified regardless. But I don't think they induce... Because they don't attack humans, even like none of these eyewitnesses have said that they were attacked.
Yeah.
They just saw it. So it's just like if you were in like a safari and you saw a lion maul a gazelle, like
I'll be uncomfortable. I'll be very concerned.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a different type of fear. Like, whereas the black-eyed children we gave a 96, that was pure terror because
that power, yeah.
Well, they were very creepy. They were very sort of ominous. Whereas the Jubicabra, their physical appearance is quite scary, but they don't attack humans.
Okay.
I don't think. I mean, the Loveland Frogman, we gave a fear factor of 36 because they were just like a little bit bigger of a frog, but they actually attacked a human.
I'm gonna say for fear factor, I'm gonna give it a 55.
See, I was thinking a little bit lower. I was thinking sort of high 40s.
48.
I could go 48. Are you happy?
I'll go for 50.
Bang on 50.
Bang on 50.
Okay. But you see where I'm coming from with me?
No, I get you. I totally get you.
There's no reports of them attacking humans.
I think I kind of poked a hole in that thing with saying it hasn't attacked humans. So
I was thinking of it before, but you brought it up, so I was like, yes, he brought it up.
Okay.
Because I thought you were going to go high with fear factor, and I was just thinking, yes, they're creepy looking. Yes, I'd be scared if I saw one. But they don't attack us. They don't, or as far as we know. We're only going by with what we know.
Of course, guys. Facts don't matter.
And then last but not least, the Betwixt Ideas overall rated.
Ooh. I'm feeling somewhere between like a 7-8.
Okay, so just for context, we gave the goat men a 7. We gave the Loveland Frogman a 4. I would be happy to give this a 7. Because I think...
Good.
I think with its paranormal power, I think with its sort of...
It's got a maxed out notoriety stat, so I think...
could give it an 8, though.
You could give it an 8.
I think the notoriety might push it up to an 8.
I think you kind of have to give it an 8 now that I think about it, because it is, the Chupacabra. It's a big one.
I think the name alone...
Let's say it's on the lower spectrum of, like, big ones.
I don't know, though. I could argue that this might be the biggest one.
So far?
I'm no. I mean, if we
of all time,
maybe.
Ooh, I don't know, bro.
Well, the fact that there was history and stuff.
There's history.
I mean, we could. I mean, I'm more than happy when we have done the 30 to have an episode where we actually go through all the scores and see if we're happy with all the scores.
But think about the Loch Ness Monster. Now, that's a big one.
That's a big one.
And I think,
and we will do the Loch Ness Monster. We will do Bigfoot and stuff. But
I debatably think the Loch Ness Monster is probably bigger than the Chupacabra in terms of like notoriety.
I don't know, you know.
Maybe because it hits more home because we're in the UK and obviously Scotland.
I think the Chupacabra, because there's sightings all over the world. There's the historic link to the Mayans, whereas we'll get to the Loch Ness Monster at some point, but the Loch Ness Monster is one place. And there's only ever been one, or supposedly one.
Okay.
Obviously, I'll do more research when we actually do the Loch Ness Monster.
All right. Let's go for 8.
I'm happy with 8.
I'm happy with it. I'll take an 8.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think anything will be much higher than an 8.
I'll go for that. That's my final. I'll take an 8.
I'm happy with an 8. So, Paranormal Power 27, Notoriety 100, Strength 58, Fear Factor 50, overall rating 8.
8.
Happy?
Let's go for that.
This is a good one, man.
That's a good one.
Jubicabra. You wanted a heavy hitter.
That's a heavy hitter right there, man.
You wanted a heavy hitter.
That's a heavy hitter.
It was. I mean, it's a very, very good one.
It's a good one, mate.
I mean, you're happy?
Oh man, I'm happy. So I'm just giving a nice little stretch.
Good. I mean, so I think that just about wraps up today's episode.
Take us off, Jamie. Take us out.
Yeah. Well, wraps up this episode of Cryptid Top Trumps. Let us know what you thought of today's episodes and any suggestions on what cryptid we should investigate next by emailing us at thebetwixtideasfeedback@gmail.com. That is thebetwixtideasfeedback@gmail.com. And if you've encountered the Jubicabra or any of the cryptids that we speak of, please let us know at the same email, thebetwixtideasfeedback@gmail.com, or in the comment section on the YouTube video. Make sure to follow our Twitter at Betwixt Ideas, our Instagram at The Betwixt Ideas Podcast, and our TikTok at The Betwixt Ideas Podcast. We will see you next month for the next episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. See you next month. Peace out. Goodbye.
Peace.
Bye.